Hello Graphic 45 crafters, my name is Lea and I'm one of new brand ambassadors. Today I would like to introduce myself with this project, what I'm all about. I love making mini albums and everything that goes with memory keeping, from all kinds of storage boxes to home decor pieces. Oh, and also if you would like to learn more about me, not just about my paper crafting, you can visit Graphic 45 blog and you can learn some very small thing about me. So okay, let's go back to this project. I like to create in any colors, but for today's project I picked Communique paper collection. I think it's so perfect to create album for your vintage photos. And after I show you the inside of this album, don't go away, because I will show you, there's a step-by-step tutorial how I created the covers and also how I embellished the front cover and the spine. So stay with me. And now please come closer and I would like to show you the inside. Okay, this is the front cover and I created this frame here for your photo. You place your photo here and this image is so beautiful. And I cut it out from 12 by 12 paper. I just wanted to highlight the image somehow. So I cut it out and I wanted to display it here on the front cover. And here on the top and bottom of the frame, there are chipboard pieces from the collection. And here on the spine, also created a frame. And here, this is the image from the paper. And look how beautiful coordinates with the image in the front. And there are also these film strips right here and it's so perfect. Okay, let's go to the inside. On the inside front cover, I didn't do any flaps and pockets. All I did is here is a space for a picture, and here is a tag from chipboard piece. And here on this page I cut out an image. Oh, this collection has so many beautiful images. I mean, they're really perfect for vintage photos and vintage album. So here I didn't adhere the image all the way down, so you can tuck your photo behind the image. And I used this beautiful die. So the flap opens and then you have space for your photo. And then here is a pocket, and in the pocket is photo mat for your photo. And look at this beautiful image. And then the next page is another pocket, and here you place your photo inside or you create your photo mat. And then the flap opens and then you have more spaces for your photograph. And then this flap also opens and then you have, look, all these papers coordinate very well together. And then on the next page here I created a frame, and you place your photo inside or paper and then place your photo on the paper. And here is again chipboard piece, and then here is this is sticker, so you can use it for journaling. And then the flap, oh no, there are more flaps. So this flap opens, and then here you have spaces for photograph, and then you have another flap that opens to the side and you have more spaces for your photos. And then here you have another pocket with photo mat inside, and then this pocket flap opens and then you have here more room for pictures. And then here also I didn't adhere it all the way down, so you can tuck your photo behind, and you don't have to adhere the photo to the paper. You can just tuck it behind the image and then take it out whenever you want to, so you're not gonna waste your paper that way. This is especially good if you use like really beautiful patterns on the paper and you don't want to waste them, so you want to showcase them. You can just take your photos out. And then the next page, look at this. This is so cute. I cut out this banner and then I adhered chipboard piece right here on the top. And what I like to do is, I don't know if you've seen before, I like to put pearl inside of these holes that these chipboard pieces have, and it looks so beautiful. And then here you have another die cut flap, and then it opens. And here what I did, I didn't I just wanted to show you what you can do. I didn't place papers here. This can represent where your photo should go. If you want to create a border around your photo, I don't suggest to adhere thick cardstock, because then otherwise your albums are gonna be too bulky. So if you want to create border around your photos, then use lighter paper, and that way you can create a border around your photo. But otherwise, just place photos where you see this paper. And then again, beautiful image, not adhered all the way down, so it's only for, you can tuck your photo behind. And then here again, this is space where your photo should go. And then here is another pocket with photo mat. And then this opens, and then again here you place your photo. There's no paper, so just photo here. And then next page. So on this page here you see another beautiful image, and then here is a sticker and some embellishments from the paper. And this flap opens to the side, and here again what you see here is spaces for your photos. And then this closes and the whole flap opens to the side, and you have here more spaces for photographs, and then another flap here that would open to the side. And what I told you earlier, if you want to showcase beautiful papers, and if you don't want to adhere your photos all the way down, then place some tag or some image and tuck your photos behind, and then you can take it off anytime, and you can showcase these beautiful papers. So let's go to the next page. Here you will see another more beautiful images, and here is a tag for journaling. And then and here again I created this banner and then placed chipboard sticker on the top, and then it opens, and then here you have flap, it's die cut, and then the flap opens, and then both flaps open to the side, and then you have here more spaces for your photographs. And next page is a mirror page of this page here. It's created the same way, matted almost with the same papers, and only images are different. So here again, banner with chipboard piece, and then here look at this beautiful camera, and then it's the same way as this one. So here die cut flap opens, and then this flap would open again on the side, and you have here spaces for your photograph. And again you can tuck your, oh no, here I adhered this image all the way down, because here this is space for your photograph. So here, and then last page, look at this beautiful tag. It's like shape of an old album, and it says photographs here in the middle. And then here look at this beautiful lady with camera, and here is chipboard piece, you can use it for journaling. And then and here is a pocket I created, and then in the pocket is a photo mat, and flap opens to the side. And look at that, here you have spaces for your space for photograph, and here look at this beautiful paper, and this flap will also open, and here you have, look, you have spaces for more photographs. And then the last is cover page, inside cover page, and here also is a space for photograph, and then chipboard image here of this beautiful lady. The size of the pages of this album are 6.5 by 8.5 inches. And for covers, you will need to cut 1/4 inch wider and taller. Chipboard pieces, I cut 4 pieces of chipboard, 2 for front cover and 2 for back cover, and then apply a score tape on one side of one cover, and then adhere them together. And here you see I already adhere 2 pieces of chipboard together. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want the thickness of my covers to be 3 millimeters thick, and I'm not working with that thick chipboard. This is 1.5 thickness, so I need to form the 3mm thickness. I need to adhere two pieces together. So okay, this cover I'm gonna do with you. So remove tape backing from the chipboard, and then you will adhere both pieces together. And then use a bone folder to make sure both the pieces stick together well. And then if you have sanding block or sanding paper, just smooth out the edges, but not too much. And for the spine, you will need to cut two pieces of chipboard at 2.5 by 6 3/4 of an inch. And also I already applied score tape on one piece, so then just remove this and adhere both pieces together. Oh, and if you're working with 3mm chipboard, then you don't have to cut two pieces for each cover, otherwise it will be too thick. And you can also work with only one piece, only with 1.5mm or 2mm chipboard, whatever you desire, but I prefer 3mm. I think for me it works the best. I think this is perfect thickness for covers, because that way covers will not bend. And then what you are gonna do is cut your binding material. It can be everything from paper or fabric or book cloth, so whatever you would like, you choose. And then your material has to be larger. I mean, just lay all pieces on, let's say, on your paper, and leave 3/16 or 1/4 of an inch between each panel and spine. And on the side it has to be 1 inch of a paper, or it can be also 1/2 inch. And also on the top and the bottom of a chipboard pieces, it has to be 1 inch or 1/2 inch, or it doesn't matter, but just make sure you leave enough paper. You're gonna wrap paper around chipboard edges, so that's how it should look. And now what you're gonna do is take each piece of chipboard and apply score tape only on one side of each piece. Do the same with this piece and the piece for the spine, and when I'm finished I will be back. Okay, so before I said you use score tape. If you don't have a score tape, just use some, don't use a regular double-sided tape, use some stronger tape. This is my advice. Or if you can also use liquid glue if you prefer, but if you do that, then just make sure that you put all your pieces under the weight That way you're gonna prevent the chipboard pieces from bending, because otherwise they will bend. I can assure you. Adhere the piece down and then turn it around and burnish well with your bone folder. And what you're gonna do next is take your piece for the spine and then measure 3/16 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch. So I always like to use a ruler. Okay, and then take your spine piece and do the same, remove tape backing. I like to use a ruler or a piece of chipboard for alignment, because I want, all my pieces to be aligned. So that's how I do. I line it next to the edge of the piece that is already adhered, and then I take another piece and then just align the edge with a ruler, and then just quick measurement to see if it really is enough space on the top and bottom of each piece. All right, and then do the same. Burnish well, and then do the same with next cover. And then when you're done with all pieces, then turn everything over and burnish well, because you want to make sure the glue is gonna stick to your paper well. Now you're gonna cut off all 4 corners and take 2 chipboard pieces. So this is 3 millimeters. And if you don't have some other tools for cutting your edges, then do what I do. Take the same thickness as your pieces and then just align it with the corner, and then draw a line with your pencil. So do the same on all 4 corners. Okay, and then take your scissors and do not cut straight on the line. Just go a little bit away from the line. Before you're gonna wrap your paper around the edges, just burnish your paper first. That way it's gonna be easier. And then take a glue. You can use liquid glue or you can apply score tape on your paper, but I like to glue flaps onto the chipboard with liquid glue. When you wrap the edge with your paper, just make sure you burnish very well on the edge. And then we're gonna do the same on all 4 edges. What you're gonna realize at, at the corners, you have some excess of paper, and you want to fold this excess around the corner. And what you're gonna do then is, like, if you left too much paper, then you just cut it off. And then what you're gonna do is just fold this piece of paper like to the inside. And when you're gonna fold this, look, you're gonna cover. It's gonna make very nice finish. So that's how you're gonna do, and you do this on all 4 corners. And when I'm done, I will go back. All the paper is wrapped around each corner of the chipboard, and next we are gonna do is to fold the paper around these long edges of chipboard pieces. Do the same on this side. When you are done, you will fold each cover to the inside to make good crease between the cover and the spine. So this is how your covers should look. And next, what we are gonna do is create hinges. Cut your piece of paper. It has to be like around 1/8 of an inch, like shorter than your pages. My pages are 6.5 inches tall. The hinges has to be like 1/8 of an inch shorter than that. And cut the piece 10.5 inches long. You're gonna make hinges for 4 pages. First, crease. And sometimes I am using scoreboard for scoring, and sometimes I just use my paper trimmer, because I think like those lines are finer and more precise. So I like to use paper trimmer more often for scoring almost anything. So first crease you're gonna make at 1.5 inches, and then you're gonna make 2 sets of 3/4 of an inch, and then a 1/2 inch for the space between each pages, and then again like 2 sets of 3/4 of an inch. Okay, I'm gonna show you. You will see what I'm talking about. So first you have to make a crease at 1.5 inches right here. So there we go. Just do it like, just go 3 times or even more over one line. So, and next you're gonna move the paper for 3/4 of an inch. That means 2 1/4 of an inch. It's right here. And again, make score line. And then is one more score line you're gonna make at 3 inches. So that means this is 1 set This is one set of 3/4 inch score lines. And then you're gonna make next score line at 3.5. That's right here. This is the space between each hinges. And then again, 2 sets of 3/4 inch score lines. So that means first gonna be at 4.25 of an inch. It's right here. And then the next score line would be at 5 inches. And then again 5-inch gap, which will be here at 5.5 inch. And then again 6.25. This is the third set. Will be here. And then at 7. And then again 1/2 inch. It's right here, 1/2 inch space. It will be next score line at 7.5 inches. And last set of score line, it will be at 8.25. It's right here, 8.25 of an inch. And the last one is at 9 inches. The last score line should be right here. Okay. And next, what you're gonna do is fold at each score line. And when you fold, just make sure the top and bottom edges of folded piece are aligned with top and bottom edges of bottom piece. That means your score line is correct. If not, then it means you didn't score correctly. Okay, next. When you are done scoring on one side, then turn your piece over and do scoring on the other side. Just make sure to use one folder. As you can see, I already started gluing this piece, but there are no recordings for the beginning of the gluing. So what I did is I started gluing 2 pieces of, I'm gonna show you on this side. I started gluing like 2 3/4 inch pieces together. So that means like I glued these 2 pieces together, and then I left 1/2 inch piece out, and then again with the next set of 3/4 of an inch. Okay, now here I already glued 2 hinges, and after each hinge is glued, just fold on a score line towards you and burnish with bone folder, and then next leave this 1/2 inch space out and then apply glue to the next 3/4 of an inch. Just apply enough glue because you want hinges to be glued together very well, otherwise they're gonna come apart. And then here is the last hinge. Okay, hinges are glued, and now just leave them, let them dry for a while, and then we are gonna continue. Now take your covers that you created earlier, and we are going to adhere the hinges down. And again, you will apply glue. And measure about 1/2 inch from each side of the spine. And here there are like pencil marks on the top and here at the bottom. And then just align first hinge with pencil mark. And then just make sure that hinges are adhered from top and bottom, that there's the same distance from top and bottom edges of the covers. And then fold the cover just to make sure that hinges sticks very well between the gusset, and then continue applying glue. If there is some excess of glue, just wipe it off with paper towel and then slowly adhere hinge by hinge, because you want to make sure that it sticks well. And here on score lines, just make sure it will get stick well. Okay, and what you can do next, you can take paper clips, the smallest you have, and then use them here at the score lines, and just make sure you clip close to score line. And then do the same on the other side. And then leave the clips on for a while, because you want to make sure hinges will stick together very well, because when you are gonna attach pages, you don't want the hinges to come off. And while the hinges are drying, we are gonna start creating the front cover of the book. First, cut out the image from the paper, and this image is 4 1/8 of an inch by 6 1/2 of an inch, and then cut 2 pieces of chipboard at 4 1/4 by 6 5/8 of an inch. Apply score tape or any strong tape to one chipboard piece and glue both pieces together. And then cut a piece of paper or fabric or whatever your binding material is to be larger, around half an inch or 1 inch on each side of the chipboard piece, and then apply again score tape and now adhere the piece to your binding material. And you will cut off the corners and on all 4. And then cut out all 4 corners. Next, you will have to cut 2 pieces of chipboard at 8 11/16 of an inch by 6 3/4 of an inch. Okay, first what you're gonna do is measure from right side of the piece 4.5 inches, so it should be 4.5 inches, and draw a line, this line here. And then what you're gonna do is measure from top and bottom 3/8 of an inch, and also on this side, and draw line, draw both lines, and also measure here to the inside 3/8 of an inch, and then draw this line. So this here is 3/8 of an inch, and down here is 3/8 of an inch, and draw a line only to this line here. And when you are done when you are done drawing this part here, then you will take craft knife and a ruler and cut out this frame here. You're gonna cut from this corner here where 2 lines intersect, and all the way to this line that measures 4 by 5 inches. So here and here, and then again from this corner here, from intersection of all this, I mean both lines, and to this intersection here, I mean to this corner here, you will cut. So again, align your ruler with pencil mark, I mean with the pencil line, and then again this line here. And you will, oh, and also from this line here and this line, and then cut from 3/8 of an inch lines. So there we go, and then you just cut it out. So you are gonna create, by cutting this out, you are gonna create a frame. This is how your piece should look after you cut out this part that represents the frame. And here are both pieces, and next what we are gonna do is adhere both pieces together. Now place your tape on one side of the piece and cut out a fabric or a paper a little bit larger. Then you can see it's a little bit larger than the frame, and choose the fabric that would match this image here. You can see there are like some beige colors inside, so just match some. You can match like the same or similar, just something that will go with this picture here, I mean with the image. All right, then turn this over, and I applied, yes, oh, you can apply glue and adhere the piece to the fabric or paper, or you can do with score tape. So you have two options: score tape, I mean or any other tape, or liquid glue. But if you put liquid glue, then just make sure that it's all over the chipboard, not just here and there. Just apply it, just cover the whole piece. There you go. And again, you will use bone folder, and just burn it, just to make sure that the glue is stick to the paper. So next, you're gonna cut off the corners and do the same thing as you did for the covers. Take your pencil, just like thickness of the piece, and just draw a line, and then you're gonna cut slightly larger. I will show you. And now you will cut not on the pencil line, but you're gonna cut it just slightly above the pencil line. Just make sure when you fold, the edge of the paper should not go over the edge of chipboard. Then if it goes, then just do some extra cutting here. I'll show you. I just need to trim a little bit more. Okay, before I continue, I forgot to do this step. You will have to cut the fabric inside of the frame, and then make a slit at each corner, so that you will be able to fold this over the inside edges of the frame. Then fold the paper over chipboard piece on the opposite side, and then after that you're gonna you're gonna glue down side edges. Okay, now all edges are covered. So now from this side, that's how it should look. And next, what we are gonna do is fold the paper over outer edges. And now you will cover this area with cardstock. The reason why I'm doing this is because then the level of the cardstock and paper will be, and the cardstock and the paper will be in the same level, and there will be no bumps, and it's gonna be easier for the frame to stick to the cover. Because if you don't do this, then can you imagine only this part will stick, that is a little bit erased, and then this middle part will not stick very well. It can come off over time. So it's very important that you cover this whole area with cardstock or paper. So just use scraps of your cardstock. Now this is done, and you will cover the whole piece with glue, or you can use score tape. Any other tape that is very strong. So now take your covers and you will adhere this to the front cover. Top, bottom, and left side edges should be aligned with edges of the cover. So when everything is aligned, you just make sure you press very well with your fingers. And then use your bone folder and then push real hard to make sure the piece is gonna stick down. And then if you have paper clips, you can use paper clips to help sticking these two pieces together, especially here on the corners. But don't leave those clips too long in there, because then after removing you will see marks. Now put the covers aside and let the frame dry, and take your piece that you created earlier that you cover with black cardstock or paper, and you will adhere this image of a camera onto the piece. So I already applied score tape, so now remove this. No, don't remove everything. Okay. And adhere this down and make sure there's gonna be a nice border of the paper around the image. Turn the piece over and take a piece of cardstock and do the same as you did with the other piece with the frame. Just adhere the cardstock to this section on the chipboard. Okay, and next apply glue. And before you apply glue, I forgot, before you apply glue, just center the image on top of this part. You're gonna adhere it on this part of the frame, so just place it on top and leave enough border of this beige paper, and just to see how it's gonna look. See, that's, and here this opening is a space for your photo, which we are gonna do later, but now first let's adhere this piece on this part. And for this you need really strong glue. Like all those regular glues that you're using for pages, it's not gonna work. Maybe at first, but after a while, I don't know what's gonna happen. My advice is to really use something strong. Look, this is already like really glued, so like with other glues it will start coming off. So, but you know, you have to use something very strong. And for this, if you want to use clips to help adhere pieces together, the small clip will not be large enough, so if you have larger clips like this, then this is gonna work. But be sure not to leave them on for a very long time, because these ones are even stronger than the small ones, and marks are gonna be visible very soon. So just for a very short time you leave it on. But if you have strong glue, it's not gonna be necessary to leave this on for a long time. Now cut the paper of your choice. I really like this pattern, so it matches really well with the camera, and I didn't want to do some other colors. It's just that everything is pretty much in the same color. And then on the back of the paper, apply score tape, and you will adhere the paper to the frame. First, just take a peel off one strip of tape backing, and the size of this paper is 3 11/16 of an inch by 5 and 13/16 of an inch. Now center the paper in a desired position. Just make sure that you leave enough border, black border around the paper, and when you are sure it looks perfect, then just adhere it down. And then peel off the rest of the tape backing. And the last thing for the front cover, take chipboard piece from the same collection, or you can use chipboard piece from other collections. Just make sure that it matches with the paper and the image. And I really like this quote, vintage. And then you will apply some heavy body gel on the bottom part of the chipboard piece. I mean bottom part, actually it's middle part. What I'm doing. Oy, oy, oy. And now center the image, the top section of the frame, and just press, and then just press it down. And then take a rhinestone and insert the rhinestone here in this hole. Right here. And for the bottom part of the frame, I mean, you can leave it like it is, or you can add something more. And I felt it's so empty, so I needed to do something. So I chose to put these two squares here on the bottom part, and I'm gonna do like that, next to each other. And also I'm gonna use this heavy body gel to glue them down. Your front cover is finished, and all we need to do is to decorate the spine of this album. For the spine, I cut two pieces of chipboard at 2.5 by 6 3/4 of an inch. Measure around all the edges of a chipboard 3/8 of an inch, and draw lines. Then take a ruler and craft knife. Place and you're gonna cut only the inside, only from where two lines intersect to the next line, to the next corner of where two lines intersect. So that way you're gonna form a frame. Both pieces are cut, and you can see those frames. So next, what I'm gonna do, I will take liquid glue and apply glue to the chipboard. Okay, and now this one goes on top of the other one, and let's and press well, and there you go. Your frame is glued and ready to be adhered. I mean, actually it's ready to be wrapped in a binding material. So binding material, and this frame will be wrapped in the same color as the other frame on the front, so it's like light beige. Cut the paper large enough that you will be able to wrap it over the edges of chipboard, and you will do the same thing with wrapping as you did for this frame. And when I'm done, I will be back. Next, you cut this image from the paper, and the size of this image should be 1 1/8 of an inch by 5 5/8 of an inch, and then cut only one piece of 1.5 millimeter chipboard at 1 1/4 of an inch by 5 3/4 of an inch. And this step now is optional. Actually, all the steps with covering your chipboard pieces and frames are optional. So this piece you can ink edges with black color, or you can wrap it in black paper, so whatever you wish. I will wrap this in fabric. I mean, I will wrap it, I will not just ink it. Adhere the piece on chipboard, on paper, and then cut off all the edges, and then wrap it the same way as you did the frame. Apply score tape to the back of the image and center the image on top of this chipboard piece. Take your covers, and we are gonna finish with decorating the spine. So take your frame and apply liquid glue to the frame. So now line edges of the spine with edges of the frame. Now you will need to cut the paper to center it in the middle of the frame. So this paper is 1 inch and 5/4. No, 1 inch and 5/8. 1 5/8 of an inch by 5 7/8 of an inch. Apply score tape to the back of the paper and adhere it in the center. Now take this piece with an image, and you will adhere the piece on top of this paper here in the middle, and take glue Okay, this is how your covers should look. Thank you for watching. I hope my album made you want to create one of your own, and I promise I will keep inspiring you in the future.